Evening, folks. How are you doing? It's Middle-Aged Gamer Guy here, also known as Mag, and welcome to another Tuesday night gaming chat where we talk about all the latest gaming news and reviews from the last 7 days or so. How are you? How are all of you? I hope you are well. Let's see who's in chat and say hello. Gozzo was the first one here, our guest from last week's show. Good evening, Gozzo. Hope you're well, buddy. Jenny, hello. How you doing? Mr. Game Tank, oi, oi. Big Jesse, good evening. How are you, good sir? Great to see you. Flame, hello. Matt, good evening. How are you? Alexia, hello. Good evening, everyone, she says. Iquel, good evening. Hello, how are you all doing? Danka, good evening. There you go. Jenny says, I'm putting the washing away. I have found myself a matching pair of pajamas fresh out the tumble dryer. So I'm warm, little snug bug. Good times. I mean, it is bloody cold out there. For anyone who's got snow, like we have, it's not been warm, has it? Let's face it. So, snow in November. I can't remember the last time it snowed in November. December, yes. January, yes. November, I can't remember. It probably did, but it's been a long time. Hope everyone is well. This show, folks, is brought to you by the wonderful people at the game Mech Arena. Exclamation Mech in chat. It's a free-to-play game that you can play on your mobile or PC. And we've set 16 targets for you to hit in the next 22 days. Some of you have already smashed those targets, which is fantastic. But we need your help because it helps pay to keep this channel running and keep things going and all that sort of malarkey. So please download the game, exclamation Mech in chat, as Alexia has done there. Download it, play the game. And if you've got any questions about the game, do drop me a DM. But some of you have been doing brilliantly. And Alexia says it's actually a good game. It is. It's a great game. It's a great game. We played it on Friday. Really enjoy it. It's good fun. And it's not often you get a game that you can dip in, play for 5 minutes and opt out again. And this is one of those, and it's great. So big shout out to our sponsors, Mech Arena, for sponsoring the show. And if you do want more information, click on that link and download the game. Reminds me a bit of a font mission in a way. Bit of a font mission? Font mission. Did I get that right? I don't know. Jenny says, are you well this evening, Magatha Christie? Aye, Magatha Christie is good. I know Jesse's playing it, enjoying it. He's been playing a lot of it. So he's doing really, really well. I think he's literally got 2 of the challenges to complete, and he's done nearly all of them. Oh, a game called Font Mission. I didn't know that. You'll have to educate me. Ryan, good evening. How are you, buddy? Good to see you as always. That's all good. That's our word from our sponsors. And we've got a show. We've got 8 new games to talk about tonight. Quite varied tonight. Some big games, not so big games, some like surprising games. So there you go. I'm good. Came home to a Pokemon delivery. Don't get better than that, does it? Don't get better than that. It's all good. It's all good. Obviously, to help me with talking about these 8 games that we've got tonight is my co-host that knows the most. It's the one, it's the only, Mr. David Jones.
Good evening, mate. How you doing?
Good evening. Coming live from Mars, I think, where you are tonight. So, yeah, he's exploded out the stratosphere of his background or back room, I should say, to this. And people have already noticed. Ryan's like, ooh, a background. Alexia's like, ooh.
It's only taken me 192 episodes to do?
Yeah.
192 years ago. The virtual background option. I just didn't ever bother. I kind of got fed up of seeing the same old door and walls in the background of my camera image. I thought I'd try a virtual background. And this one seemed all right. And it's kind of on brand with the purple colour. So
it is. It's nice.
This one for a bit.
I think you've done a good job there, mate. I'm very proud of you. Done cracking. How have you been? What have you been playing?
I've been playing only a couple of games. Mostly been playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Still carrying on with that one. Still got loads to do on that. I think I'm on chapter 8 now out of 14. So I'm getting through it slowly but surely. May have it done by Christmas. We shall see. I mean, there is other stuff coming out that might pique my interest, tear me away from it, like Stalker 2 and Indiana Jones. Too many games, unfortunately. Yeah. I am going to finish this one. And then I played a good couple of hours of... I think I will. Then I played a good couple of hours of multiplayer on Call of Duty Black Ops on Sunday.
Nice.
That was good fun. I quite enjoy that. It's nice, fast-paced multiplayer. So I do quite like that.
There you go. Sophie was like, "Hey, hot stuff. Hey, short stuff. Do I pique Dave's interest?"
Yeah. Into the stream sometimes now.
Well, there you go. See,
Watching, so I better be careful what I say.
yeah, he's going to be careful about what happens. His wife was here last week, so you know you've got to be careful.
She was. Yeah, she could just be watching.
Sophie's not here to cause trouble. She's just here for a good time. That would be her phrase. There you go.
Bless her.
Hi, Dave's wifey. There you go. If she is watching, hi as well. A couple of things I want to say. Firstly, Dave Johnson just resubbed for 3 months at Tier 1. He said, "That's amazing, Dave. Also, what's amazing is that I am not the guest this week." No, you're not the guest this week, Dave. We've told you this. You're a month early, Dave. This is Dave Johnson. Dave Johnson will be on the show in a month's time today, believe it or not, for our Christmas special, of all things. There you go. Walker, good day, Mag. How are you doing? There you go. Jenny says, "It's me." Who's me? What? Also, our community member of the month is Big Jesse. Big shout out to Big Jesse. He's our community member of the month. And he's also not as advertised because our guest for next week has had to push back by 2 weeks. But Big Jesse will be our guest on the show next week. And this is the first time he's been asked to be on the show when it's not a last minute stand-in. So he's quite happy about that. So there you go. Jenny says, "You're the guest." Oh, Jenny's a guest, apparently. So there you go. There's too many. You said free you get. Free you get. 17-month sub. It's a month's time, Dave. Get over it. Get over it. Jesus. Yay, Jesse. Fucking get in. There you go. There you go. Filling in as usual, but more than 3.5 minutes notice. So it's improved. Yeah. Next year, we'll try and ask you like 2 months in advance. We're getting there. We're getting there. But there you go. But yeah, we'll talk about next week's guest a little bit later on. So, yeah, games I've played. So, funnily enough, did all the Astrobot special levels because the last one came out last week. Don't know when the next lot of stuff's going to come out. I suppose you just have to wait for an announcement now. All 5 new levels have come out, completed, done. Got all the extra little bots for it, which was great. And then, ironically, a game that we're talking about tonight, I played the prequel, which came out last year, and I've completed that this week. And now I'm kind of bouncing between the Sonic and Shadow game and Warhammer, Space Marine 2, and a few other things. So I'm just kind of doing bits of each one and just kind of catching up and tidying up because I think I've got a couple of weeks now to kind of mop up before, like you, Indiana Jones comes out. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see.
Space Marine I quite fancy. I'll get round to that at some point. Probably wait for it to drop in the sale. And I'll get it. Try and get a mate to get it. We'll just co-op through it, I think. Yeah,
it should be all right. I mean, I was playing something else, but it is terrible. It came out on Game Pass called Mad Streets, which is a fighting brawler. They described it as a more grown-up version of Gang Beasts. And I thought, I love Gang Beasts, but this is truly awful. And yeah, so often times the controls don't work. Yeah, Indiana Jones is landing on Game Pass. What day? I will tell you. I've got the date here. On the 9th of December. 9th of December, Indiana Jones lands on Game Pass. So there you go. Got it installed ready, says Safe. There you go. It's awesome. There you go. I said I was sub for 3 months. It was 17 months. No, you've resubscribed for 3 months, Dave. And it's a total of 17 months is what I said. Bloody hell. There you go. Amanda, good evening. How are you? There we go. Anyway, shall we move on to our guest this week?
I think we should, mate.
There you go. There you go. Dave's going to start an argument in chat now, so I'm just going to let him get on with it. Hello, I'm okay. How are you? We're doing very well. Thank you, Amanda. Good to see you. So, this wonderful guest, it's first time game dev. Okay. First time she's been on the show, and she's going to be promoting a game, and it's her first game that she's done. I got to meet her in Sheffield at the Creator Meets, where people like Moonchild and that are going, "You got to come and talk to her. Got to come and talk to her and come play this game," which is really, really cool. And we're going to be talking about that. Sheffield is a rough place. It wasn't when we went. It was fine, Soph. It was good fun. It was good fun. We had a good time at Creator Meets. And then, obviously, we stayed in contact. And I did say to her, "Look, you've got an indie game. I need to introduce you to Debug Magazine." And obviously, we've had Debug Magazine on the show before and stuff. And And she said, well, funnily enough, I'm going to be showcasing the game on the first day of EGX. And obviously I was at EGX, as you know. And I said to Kate, oh, saw her with the game. I was like, great, you're here. Fantastic. Let me go get someone from Debug. Well, I kind of did more than that because I ended up getting the whole team that works for Debug over to Kate's stand to go have a chat. And then Andrew, the editor of the magazine, got to play the game. Said game is called Itty Bitty Toilet Kitty. And we'll find out more because please welcome the dev of that game. It's Kate Shenton. Hello, Kate.
Hey, hello everyone.
How you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
We roped you in, like we
roped
you in and said, do you want to be on the show? Do you want to be talking about the game? Look, everyone's saying hello. Dave's saying hello. Amanda, Gilfly, evening everyone. Dan says hi, Kate.
Hello.
Says,
Gosh, there's so many people.
Yeah. Dave says, I'm sorry you had to put up with Mag. I mean, it's all right. Depends which way. Welcome in, says Jesse.
Wow.
And straight away like that, if you want to find out more about this game, which we're going to have a look at the trailer in a minute, but we're going to talk about it. There is the Steam link. You can wish list it. Steam link is there. Thank you, Dan Game Tank. But let's talk about you and let's talk about how the game came about. So for anyone, obviously, what was your first step into becoming a game dev? Why did you decide to jump in down that route?
I decided to try my hands at being a game dev when I lost my job, basically. I don't know whether you guys know, but it's been a really rough year in the game industry, and I got made redundant, which was quite painful, and I've been struggling to find a job since, like so many people. So I kind of had a lot of free time on my hands, and I thought I'd give being a game dev a go. And it was only meant to be like a small little scene, like just a tiny little thing. But then it just kind of expanded and went a little bit crazy. And now it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And now there's lore and everything. It just keeps expanding.
I mean, when I first played the game, so it would have been September, I think we first met. Played the game. Obviously, I played a certain demo and you said, oh, there's going to be more bits coming into it. And then by the time we got to last month, so literally a month later, you'd already added in some of the lore and stuff because I know that had come into it, hadn't it? So the game is constantly developing.
It's like the aim is to get it finished by the end of the year. Like there has to be a stopping point, otherwise it could just go on forever, and I could end up being 80 and still making a game about a cat. I don't think I quite want that. Like it has to end, but yeah, it has definitely become something bigger than I ever intended it to be. But that's a good thing. That's what's really cool and fun and exciting.
So should we play the trailer and then you can explain the story? Because I like the story. You tell me about how this game came about. So let me play the trailer.
It's a very silly game.
It's a very silly game, but I like it. It's great fun. Let's have a look at this.
Highbrow.
Here you go.
Highbrow.
You're going to love it. You're going to love it,
Highbrow
people.
storytelling.
Our chat will love it. Trust me. They'll get it. This is the trailer for Itty Bitty Toilet Kitty. Let's have a look at this. Let's go. There you go. Let's have a look at some of the comments that we had there. Like, so, it said, like, sounds like an excellent life plan making a game. Gilfly said, I've had that on my wish list. I can't wait for it. So he's had it even before. Awesome. Alexa said, I'm excited for this. Jenny says, this is epic. Big Jessie said, you had me at Be a Cat. And Dan says, awesome. So tell everyone what the story is behind this game and what the whole thing.
So I have a cat who every time I go to the toilet, he insists on coming with me. And he gets very upset if I close the door or anything. He has to come with me. And I kept joking for ages about, oh, you're protecting me from the toilet monsters. And then when I decided to make a game, I was like, I need a really simple idea because I've never made a game before. I've never coded. I've never opened a game engine. I can't do bloody Breath of the Wild. I need something that's simple. And then I was on the toilet and like, my cat was there and I was joking about toilet monsters. And then I was like, that could be a game. So that is literally the premise of the game. It's then you've got the toilet monsters. It's me on the toilet. It's my cat. But then I was like, but what if we got the toilet monsters perspective? Because maybe there's more going on with them. So now there's a whole bunch of lore behind the toilet monsters, and it's just escalated. Yeah. It's just a really silly game, but it's got a lot of heart and it's been a lot of fun. And as you can tell, I've taken being a crazy cat lady to the next level.
Yeah. I like the fact that in the trailer, when you got the toilet monsters, the Greebles talking to each other, one comes back with a black eye, I noticed. And I'd not seen that the first time. And now watching it this time, I was like, oh my God, that little bit of detail was like, yeah, we're not winning here, boss, blah, blah, blah. I got a black eye. I thought, I love that.
It gets worse. Clive does not have a good time.
Sophie says, I love Kate's energy.
Thank you.
Explains his furballs, says Jenny. There you go. Toilet monsters are more than one of Mag. Oh, boo, Dave, boo. God help the monsters in my loo, says Walker fan. Manic, good evening. Silly games are always the most fun, though, in my opinion. Says
oh, thank you. Yeah, no. Yeah. Well, I don't think you can get more sillier than this. It really, and now there's like different toilet locations. So I've got an outdoor toilet. I've created a duck enemy, and the idea is that the duck poos on the owner, and you've got to stop the duck from this. It's just like. Really, this is what all my years of learning how to screenwrite and reading the hero's journey and all of this has come down to creating this moment.
Manic's like, what? He says, I love it. See, Big Jesse loves ducks, so he first you got him at being a cat was the first thing, but the fact there's a duck in it is going to be.
It's the game. This was the game that was made for you, basically.
This is the game that was made for nearly all our target audience here.
Yes,
basically. This is why I wanted you on this show, Kate. This was perfect.
So this is, everyone's doing all this open world stuff, and it's like, look, all you need is toilet monsters and ducks. That's it.
Done.
That's it. Done.
That'll do. Yeah.
That'll do. Can we get the Steam link again for anyone who's interested? Please do go wishlist it now. Please do. Important. So you're looking to try and aim to finish it before the end of the year. What are we saying? Near close to Christmas, or?
I mean, that's the aim, which probably means it's going to be in January, because let's face it, it always takes longer than you think it's going to. But I've definitely, I feel like I'm 2/3 of the way through it, and I'm working like a machine, and I'm still very much unemployed. So this is basically the thing that's stopping me having an existential crisis. I'm like, what happened?
What happened? I was making this game. Normally, it's the games that make people have existential crisis, but you've got the other one.
No, it's just the unemployment situation. So yeah, the hope is to get it definitely ready for Steam Next Fest. So like for February, that's my definite deadline, and then the release is going to be March. Of course, if there's some spanners thrown in the work, we shall see. Yeah. But that is I'm quite good at sticking to a deadline, and that is the deadlines that I've set myself. Nice. So, and then it'll be moving on to the next thing, because
Well, before I asked that question, because that was going to be my next question. So you've read my man. Adam was there. He played this game back in September, and he says I love it too. Adam's played it. But that's the question. After you've done this one, have you got an inkling of what you want to do next in terms of games? Have you got any ideas?
Potential ideas, like if Itty Bitty is successful enough, I do have ideas for a sequel, because it expands. Yeah. There's an universe.
There's a lore and a universe.
There's a lore. There's a universe. There's a whole bunch of stuff which I could go into, and it's that I've got quite a fun idea for that. But if that does, if I do decide to do something different, I've got a few different ideas. I like this idea of being in a zombie apocalypse, but you're the zombie and the humans are actually the bad guys, and that you're eating lots of brains and stuff, which I think could be quite fun. But yeah, in all honesty, I have no idea what I'm doing next. I have no idea where my life is going. It's all a bit, who knows? Who knows? But there'll definitely be another game. Whatever happens in my future, there'll definitely be another game. I definitely think zombies are on the horizon because I love zombies, but I want zombies to be cuddly and nice and fun. Because they're like, I always like the monsters. Yeah, that's always been a bit of a thing in my work. Is I like monsters. So yeah, but potentially there could be an Itty Bitty Toilet Kitty too. We'll see. It all depends on. Yeah, zombies do get a bad rep. It's like they just want to eat brains. It's not their fault. Like you know. Other than that, they're great.
Yeah, it's all good.
Good listeners. Great listeners.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Like that. Yeah.
You know,
there you go. Walker says agreed. Yes, because Walker loves everything zombie related. So there you go. Great listeners. There you go. So, folks, again, check out the Steam wish list. Click it. Let's hope Kate gets it all sorted, ready in time for Steam Next Fest. And then you never know. We might see her in an upcoming issue of Debug magazine. We might see her at more showcase games, and who knows, she might even get some awards or stuff. We never know. Depends how many more people I try and introduce her to. So,
I mean, this is highbrow game making. Like, I think this kitty deserves some awards personally, but I might be biased. Who knows?
Yeah. Dan says, I've never identified with a phrase more than I don't know where my life is going.
Yeah.
Jenny, that's something completely different. Waggy Maggie Toilet Shaggy. That is not going to be a kid-friendly game. No.
I feel like that's the porno version of Itty Bitty Toilet Kitty. I never knew that there could be a porno version, but you know,
and I've not given my rights or endorsement for that yet. Yeah, you know, it's not said yet.
I mean, if you're paying,
just going to sign the contract later.
If you're paying, I will take the money.
Yeah. Zombies and Hannibal Lecter, both like eating brains, both delightful company. Exactly.
Agreed.
I wasn't aware that people who knew where their life is going. Dave signed the contract, apparently. He signed my life away. I signed it for you, Mag.
Good on him.
This chat can find the porno version of any game. There you go. Oh, Jenny said, I'll pay for it. Oh, my God. Okay, there you go. There you go. All right. Shall we crack on with our show, ladies and gents?
Let's go for it, mate.
Let's go for it.
What delights do we have tonight?
Show me some trailers. I'm ready.
Let's do it. This is our 193rd show, ladies and gentlemen. We've got 8 new games, including Farming Simulator 25, Dragon Quest 3 HD 2-day remake. That's not a mouthful. Tetris Forever and Lego Horizon Adventures. So let's kick off with that first game that I mentioned. It feels like this game comes around every year, probably because it does generally. So let's look at this. This is Farming Simulator 25, which came out Tuesday last week on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Here is the trailer.
Rated E for everyone.
When we think of our farms, we think of lives well spent. Family. Friends. Nature. Those things fill our fond memories. Big machines, too. Oh, yes. We experienced, appreciated, lived farming. Don't you want that too? It's your time to grow now. Your farm. Enjoy the life.
There you go, folks. That is Farming Simulator 25. Do you know what, Jesse? I have to agree. It sounded very Leonard Nimoy-esque, but obviously he passed away a long time ago, so I have no idea who did that voiceover. Dan says I could lose.
You can recreate him with AI if you wanted to, I'm sure.
Maybe it is then.
You
But
could recreate his voice with AI. I doubt it would be, but you could. Doesn't matter if someone's died. You can just recreate with AI these days.
I know, true, but
really
it's kind of like it seems very accurate to it, but then it feels like it's just someone else.
Someone who sounds kind of similar.
Yeah. I feel like this is the life simulator remaining humans' offspring get after the apocalypse. It feels epic, but if I played it, it'd just be Clarkson's farm, a bitter old bloke. And yes, maybe we will get an inheritance tax DLC to go with this. We don't know. But Dave, tell us more about the game.
You could probably do a few mods to make it a bit more like Clarkson's farm, make it a bit more entertaining. Because I think we've looked at this pretty much every year it's come out. Never looks any more interesting to me. I suppose it depends what you want out of a game. If you want to just do a mundane day-to-day task, then you can go and do it. I mean, that it is one of iterative update. Improve the graphics, improve like the physics and stuff in it. It includes, I think, Asian farming this time, so you got like rice fields that you can deal with, and other crops from that side of the world, and more animals and things like that. But it still doesn't sound any more interesting to me. Just for adding that stuff, it still looks a bit dull. Give me something a bit more action and adventure in it. As I say, it needs a few more mods. Throw some guns in there, boost up the speed on the tractors. Could be a bit more fun. But the way it looks at the moment, bit of a snore fest. I can't quite believe there's like an e-sport for it. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Manic was saying.
I don't know how to say that would really be. Yeah, can't imagine what it'd be like. Can't say I'd be interested in watching it. So definitely not my type of game.
See,
yeah.
Sophie said she loves farming.
Be honest.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, Sophie said she loves farming. Most people, there's some people in the chat that are loving this, and there's some people that are just like, no, Snorefest. But sorry, Kate, what were you going to say?
There is an audience.
I'm just going to say, as like someone who I grew up in the countryside and like where my parents live, you walk down the road 5 minutes, there are cows in fields. Like we're surrounded by farms. So the country's in my blood. And I can say, as someone who's grown up in the countryside, I fucking hate the countryside. It is dull. It is boring. Nothing happens. Everyone just has this like why would you put yourself like this game is my version of hell. I genuinely think if I went to hell, I would be put in a farming sim. And also I can honestly say, having been very up close to cows are terrifying creatures that hate us and want our demise. I'm not even joking. I looked at a cow once and it stared at me and I was like, if there was not a fence here, you would kill me. You hate us so much.
It could see right into your soul.
It really did. And then it pissed. And I was like, what?
That's what gets me when you look at a cow and then it just pisses or shits. I think it's great.
It was the most sinister piss I've ever seen in my life. It just stared at me and the floodgates opened and just so I don't know. Like for me, I don't get the simulator thing in general. Like I saw on Steam, I saw Homeless Simulator and I was like,
there's a simulator for everything.
Everything, yeah.
I don't get this trend. Maybe I should get it, but I don't. But also, like, I'm sorry, I probably shouldn't be saying this when so many people love the game, but like, this is my version of hell.
Okay. Well, Gilfly says I've got about 300 hours in Farm Sim 23. He said, but never played any of them after that, though. So he's played that. I do feel like if you've played one, you're probably not going to go back to others, but you might. I don't know. Jenny says barn dances, pony clubs, incest, tractors. That's what you need to know.
I mean, that is basically the countryside.
Yeah. Dave said that's why Mag always insists on having a fence between us at all times. I had a cow near me that had broken a few people's legs. Jesus. Yeah. Please do a sinister piss game. Look at that. That could be on your.
Maybe this is the next game. Maybe it's the vengeful cow game. Maybe it's the cow apocalypse. Who knows? This could be it. This could be the stroke of inspiration I needed.
The tagline is it stares into your soul and then has a piss. There you go. You know, climbing not my type. See that people are saying. Walker says heading out, about to start stream. Oh, great one. Thank you, Walker. You take care. Good to see you. Did you get that game I sent you, by the way, Walker? Do have a look, because you're one of our competition winners from last night. You know what scene? You know that scene in Kung Pao where he fights the cow? There's your inspiration. Yeah.
By the way, completely side note, but I would like to show you all.
Go for it.
The muse for Itty Bitty Toilet Kitten.
Yay!
This is my cat Casper. He's lovely. He's a big ball of love and gorgeousness. Yeah, there we go. Yay.
Walker, check your DMs on Discord, because that's why I sent it you. So there you go. If you didn't get it, DM me, but I did send it you on Discord. Sims aren't my thing, but I know these are popular. 8 maybe. Right, well, let's get talking about the scores. So for those who haven't seen the show, we don't review the games. What I do is I scour the internet, get tons of different reviews from different review sites, and turn it into an average score. Now, you may agree with it, you may not, but if you get it correct, you will get out a shout out in the chat. Now, a couple of people have already put scores in. I think the first one in was Manic. Let's see.
Can I just quickly ask, is it out of 10 or is it out of 100?
It's out of 10, and you can have halves and whole numbers. Okay, so first one that we got, where is it? I've totally lost. Some of you might have to put your scores back in, because for some reason I've lost some of the chat. Oh, there you go. Manic says 7 livestock out of 10 for this one. So he's saying a 7 out of 10. Scrolling down, if I do miss anyone, please put your score back in the chat. iQuail said an 8 maybe. Gilfly says 7.5. Sophie says, I rate it max height 2.3. Well, I'll rate that up because we don't do those numbers, so that's a 2.5. Amanda says an 8 out of 10. Flame says a 5.5 out of 10. Good evening, Flame. Hope you're well. Big Jesse says 6 gallons of bull semen out of 10. I think Sophie says, I think it's going to be distant. 6 sinister pisses.
So sinister.
Dave, 8 out of 10. Danka, 7.5. Gozzo, 7.5. I did kind of explain it, but I forgot to say what the score was out. I said we were rating it, but didn't say what out of, so that's down to me. Dave, I'll start with you. What do you reckon this has got?
I'm going to try a 7 for this one.
Going for a 7. Ryan says 6.9, because obviously it's 69, and it's the coolest number, but unfortunately I'll have to round that up to a 7. But we, obviously, 69, dude. Kate, what do you reckon this got?
Oh, I think it's this is really tricky, because I think there are going to be some people who absolutely love this and some people who are going to completely slag it off, but even without playing it. Sort of what I did, which is actually quite a terrible thing to do. I'm going to say 6.5.
6.5. Okay, 6.5 from Kate. Manic has changed his score by 0.5, says 7.5. Anybody else want to put your scores in? This is Farming Simulator 25, which came out last Tuesday on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. And if there are no more guesses in the chat, Dave, can I just double check what you said?
I said a 7, mate.
You said a 7. Okay, cool. Then I can tell you, and I can confirm, Dave, that you got it wrong, because it was a 7.5 out of 10.
Oh,
so there you go. So quite a few people, Manic has been quite chuffed that he changed his score just at the last minute. So Manic, congratulations. Gozzo, Danka, well done. Who else said 7.5? Gilfly, well done for you. Anybody else says 7.5? Don't think so. I'll get the mods to check. But there you go. Shout outs are going in the chat now. Congratulations to everyone that got that right for the first game. Dave, no, you didn't, because you said 8. I was going to call you a line git then, but I'll probably do that later. So there we go. That's our first game. Now, I was saying that I was played and finished a game that now we've got a sequel to. Last year, we had The Curse of the Golden Idol, which came to Game Pass. And now we have a sequel. This is Rise of the Golden Idol. This came out also last Tuesday, and this is available on practically everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything. PS4, 5, Xbox Series X, S1, PC, and even on Netflix gaming. Yes, I think this is only the second time we've talked about a game that's on Netflix. Let's have a look at the trailer for this, which is The Rise of the Golden Idol. There you go. It's even on Nintendo Switch. I forgot to say that. So this is technically a crime mystery game, isn't it, Dave? But it's set, I think it's set in the 70s, this one, because the first one was set like back in the oldie world of like the 1800s or something. But this is quite different.
Yeah, that's right. It's set in the 70s. This one, it's following on the Golden Idol, which I think has gone sort of missing in the interim between the first game and this one. And your sort of characters sort of investigating various like murders and stuff that have happened. You'll go into a scene. You have to just like explore the scene thoroughly. Look at everything, find clues. Find out what people's names are, things like that. And you're using all this information to like build up these like deduction sheets. Pretty easy way to describe it. Where you're using the names and the words to sort of fill it out to try and work out what's happened. Who's killed so and so, etc. It looks pretty good. I know the first one. I haven't played it myself, but I always heard very good things about it.
Yeah,
so this one seems like it's more of the same, which isn't a bad thing because it got very good ratings the previous one. So I think if you like little sort of point and clicky type puzzle games, this is for you. And as you mentioned, if you've got a Netflix account, you can just download it on there, download it on your phone, play it on there straight away, no extra cost. It's just part of their service.
It may come to Game Pass at some point because obviously the first one did eventually. I really did enjoy the first one, and first one was more like you have paintings or like artwork which do move, but then you go through them and you click on the things to gather the evidence. And this looks like they're adding a lot more to it because the way it's done. So it's still like pictures and scenery, but there's other things going on.
Yeah,
so
a bit more life to the scenes, isn't it? By the look of it,
it's definitely evolved as a sequel. So there you go, Kate. Your thoughts on this one? It's quite intriguing.
Right. This one's an interesting one for me because another version of hell for me is point and click games. So me and my mates, we have a thing like we'll all get together online and one of us will recommend a game and the other one will play it, blah, blah, blah. And at one point someone did Monkey Island with me and I got so frustrated and I hated it. I hated it so much. It angered me. It really pissed me off. And I know people love it, but I hated it. And I hated it so much that my recommendation to this person was that they play Dark Souls, which he now hates. So the world is now balanced out. It's all balanced out now. But in saying that, I think the art style looks absolutely beautiful. I love murder mysteries in general, like whether they're in film, whether they're in television, whether they're in game. I love a good murder mystery. So this could be a point and click game that I could get into and could get, even though I'm not a fan of that genre. I mean, I think my version of hell is a farm-based point and click game. That's pretty much there. But I think this is something I could get into. I like the art style. I like the murder mystery element. And I think. But my track record, I've tried a couple of other point and click games and I've hated them all. I just can't seem to think in that mindset and clicking everything. Okay.
All right. Okay. Well, let's see what the chat's saying. Highland Assassin, thank you so much for that follow. Greatly appreciate it. Brilliant. Got your channel off Chaotic Neutral. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you for the referral. Great to have you here. Good to see you. Let's see what people are guessing. For the people that have just come in, we're guessing the scores of games that have been out. And basically, you got to have a guess between 1 and 10. You can have halves and whole numbers. and we are talking about the Rise of the Golden Idol. Danker is saying an 8.5, so he reckons it's going to be high. A lot of people following suit with this. Manic says 8.5. Gozzo saying 8.5. However, Guildfire says maybe a 6.5 on this one. Kate, I'll start with you this time. What do you reckon this got?
I think it's going to be a good game. I'm gonna go high. I'm gonna go 9.
Okay, going for a 9. Okay,
I think it's high.
yeah.
It looks good. It looks like it's got class.
Okay. Flame says a 7. Matt says an interesting 8 to me. So you go. Not sure at all on this one. When in doubt, go for a 7. There you go. Dave, what do you reckon?
I'm going to join Kate on the 9 because that's exactly what I was thinking.
Going for a 9. Okay.
I reckon it will do well.
Jenny says it's a wild card. This could be a wild card indeed. Games Guru, good evening. He says, Mag and company, hello, good evening.
Hey,
Jenny,
hello.
Jenny says, I think you met Games Guru at the Sheffield.
I
thing,
did, yes.
Yes, you did. Jenny says an 8.5. Okay. Folks, last chance. Get your scores in. This is for Rise of the Golden Idol, which came out last Tuesday on PS4, 5, Xbox Series X, S1, PC, Switch, and Netflix games. And if there are no more guesses in chat, I can tell you that quite a lot of people got this one right because it got an 8.5 out of 10.
Oh,
It scored really well. 8.5 out of 10. So well done, Jenny. Well done. Both Kate and Dave just 0.5 away on that one. Well done. Gozzo, well done. Manic, well done. Danker, well done. You all got it right. You all got the 8.5. So there you go. So you get shout outs. And don't forget, folks, these people who are shouting out, go give them a follow for their channel. Go say hello. They take the time out to watch our lovely little show. And yeah, please do the same back. So go give them some love. There you go. And Games goes like, oh, hi, special guest. There you go. There you go.
Special.
There you go. There you go. Our special guest this evening. There you go. Let's talk about some gaming news. We talk about the gaming news that happened over the last 7 days or so. I'm going to say this now. I'm going to make a point of this because it's highly likely we're going to talk about this on next week's show. We are not going to talk about the Game Award nominations because there's been a bit of a backlash with that. Now, obviously, we do cover the Game Awards and everything. However, I'm waiting for some other opinions to come in about it. So we might talk about it on next week's show. So anyone who's expected to talk about the Game Awards nominations that were announced yesterday, you'll have to wait till next week's show. Jenny, thank you so much for that gifted tier 1 sub. That has gone to Computer Club. Matt now gets 30 days of no adverts in there. Are all the opinions not their bullshit? Again, not going to
that way for what I've seen.
It says, and all right. I said I wasn't going to say anything, but the fact that Jeff Keighley put out a tweet saying, "So, what's everyone's thought on the nominations?" and it was nothing but the DLC, Jeff. The DLC. How can that be Game of the Year, Jeff? Hi, why, Jeff? Why, Jeff? Why? And I'm going to have to say that Jeff Keighley is probably still the biggest genius ever because he knew what he was doing when him and his team put that tweet out. And it has had hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people liking it and hundreds of thousands of comments. And you're like, this is just given all the publicity that this year's Game Awards needs with one tweet. Thank you very much. So in that respect, very clever. Do I agree with what they've decided? No. But let's move that into next week's show. Let's talk about, and Jenny, again, thank you for another gifted tier 1 sub that's gone to Danker. Danker, enjoy that sub. 30 days of no ad viewing, courtesy of Jenny there. It's so easy to get me on a rant. It is. It just is. I'm easy in more ways than one. So there you go. Mag, tell us how you feel about EGX. It was shit. The only good thing that was there was Kate. She was only there on the Friday. If Kate had been there for 3 days, it would have been a great event, but she was only there for the first day, bless her.
I'd never been to EGX, so I have nothing to compare it to. And also, I just was at my table for the whole thing. So
so you don't get to see it.
Yeah, so, you don't really get to see or experience it.
No. Trust me, you didn't want to. So moving on.
Oh,
There you go.
wow.
Let's move on. So, first story of this week's show. We're talking about Nintendo dishing out lawsuits, but exactly like Quail, easy like a Sunday morning. So, Ubisoft have been hit with a lawsuit. Now, obviously, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about the fact that they've shut a couple of games down and there was backlash. So, obviously, they said the Crew 2 and the Crew were going to be shut down. They actually then double backed on the Crew 2 and said, well, we will leave a non-online mode for people to play for the Crew 2 once we decide to shut the game down. But the Crew was shut down and you can no longer play it. And two gamers from California who bought the game, a Matthew Castle bought the game in 2020, so just 4 years ago, and an Alan Liu bought the game in 2018, are now suing Ubisoft because they said they went into a game store and bought a physical copy of the game, and therefore they paid to own a copy of the game. They were not paying for a license and feel that Ubisoft have basically done wrong by people because they basically claimed they've shut the game down, that no one can play it. And it means that you cannot download it, you cannot buy it. If you get a copy of the game, you put it in your machine, it will not work. Okay? So they are basically saying that they think that this goes against the terms and conditions that Ubisoft put out. Now, interestingly enough, Ubisoft are going to fight this battle because, let's face it, who on earth reads those terms and conditions that you quickly scroll through and skip? Because the chances are it probably does state that you are actually only buying a license for a game and it only lasts as long as
Pretty
that
much does, actually.
Yeah.
I
So
think
they-
Steam recently changed to actually show that. On
Yeah.
purchases.
So Steam have, you beat me ahead because this is exactly what I was going to say. So Steam have recently changed it as part of their strategy because they were getting people complaining. And this is actually going to be an official new law that comes into 2025 to basically state that you are paying for a license, not a game. So this is what the future of gaming is becoming, people. When you buy a game and it's a physical copy, if they decide they want to take it off the thing and you don't read the licensing agreement, you have no rights if you ticked, I accept it. Now, people are not going to agree with this. I don't agree with it. I think it's bad that they've done that. Guildford says, I don't agree with it. You have to agree to a license agreement on most games. Doesn't that say it? Yes. And if you don't, you can't play the game. So you're forced into it. Dave, do you read those? Because I know I don't.
Nope. I just click accept. I probably giving my soul away to the devil in some of these terms and conditions.
Yeah. Now,
I mean,
did
you not watch the South Park episode, the Human Centipede? Like you don't know what you're signing away. You don't know what you're signing away.
Yeah, there's so many things they put in. I think some of them include like terms where you can't do class action lawsuits. I'm pretty sure some of the big publishers do that. It's cheeky, but no one reads the things.
Yeah. iQual, I'm not sure. That's where the lawsuit's taking place, which started this month. That law probably will be California and other states, but I don't know because they've not extended the information on that. So we will wait to see. Guildfly says, if you give money for something, you should own it as far as games goes. I agree. But also at the same time, I think there's a period of time when, because the Crew's been out for a very long time, right? And there is a point where you go, okay, so Ubisoft have turned around and said the Crew 2's been out quite a few years anyway. We will preserve that and you can still play it. And even the new Crew game that came out last year, they've said when the life of that's gone, we'll shut the online servers down, but you can still play it single player. So if you buy a copy of it 6-8 years down the line, you can still play it. I think that's a fair suit. My question is, what is the point where you kind of go, you can't play a game? Because there's some games that are our online modes only, right? So people stop playing the game or the game comes out of favor. The companies are not going to keep those online modes on anyway because it's costing them money. So then when you go to play it 10 years down the line, the game doesn't work anyway. So isn't really that just the same thing? Because there's got to be a point where I agree that if you get a game that's got a single player campaign, you should be able to play that for the end of time. But if the game is surely multiplayer, surely once it's come to the end of its life, shouldn't it just end? Because no one's going to want to play it anyway.
I mean,
So
that is kind of, I think that's the thing. That is live service games. That if you are buying a live service game, that's what, I'm more into like a single player game. I'm not into live service. I like a good story, a good single player game, and that's what that's what I come to gaming for. But I think if it is live service and there's just no life in that community anymore, it's gone for 10 years. Wouldn't you prefer the company to be putting money into a new IP, into a new project, instead of, because it costs, to keep a game going, to keep a live service game going, it's going to cost a lot of money. And at the end of the day, this is a business. And personally, I would prefer it to actually go that money. If there is, if there's like 5 people playing it and there isn't really a community anymore, I would prefer that money to go to a new game, ideally a single player game, because single player games are just where it's at, in my opinion. But I don't think you can expect a live service game to live forever. In many ways, live service games are theatre. Single player games are film, live service games are theatre. A single player, it's going to be there and you're going to keep playing it. And as long as you've got the console and the console's still working, you can still play Ocarina of Time on the N64.
Yeah.
But if it's a live service game, they are an experience, they are a moment, and they're not going to last forever. And that's what, you're paying for a theatre ticket.
Yeah.
And that's my personal opinion. But I'm saying this as someone who is not invested in live service games. It's not, that it's not really my forte. I understand and appreciate that people get really into them, and I can see the appeal why, but I think you are paying for a theatre ticket. You're not paying for a DVD, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. People have resurrected things like OG Xbox Live and Mario Kart Wii in a similar fashion. I mean, the thing is, I think if more people, I know a lot of people were hacked off by this, but if more people were really bothered about it, then they probably would have got together with this class action lawsuit. But
there's other things that go on. I think there was another movie. I think it was called "Stop Killing Games." I think they had like multiple things going in multiple countries to try and stop, publishers just closing things down, because it's, whilst you might not get many people playing these things at the end of the day, it's still about preservation, isn't it?
Yes.
There's all these games that you can never ever play again. So you think about the number of people who like to sort of keep original versions of game alive, like World of Warcraft. There were loads of people that had like unofficial classic servers, the game as it was back in such and such a state years ago. That eventually became official, and Blizzard started doing that. But that ain't going to happen to every game. It's impossible. As you say, it's money at the end of the day. Publishers aren't going to do it.
It is.
It'd be nice if some of them could perhaps release the games out to the community. Release all the code.
That I think is a nice idea.
Because I think
like that.
I forget its name. That dodgeball live service game.
Yeah.
I think that's still live on PC to some degree. How do people actually play it? Who knows? But they did release the code so people could if they wanted to. It'd just be nice if you still had the option to just go and have a look at these things. At some points.
Yeah, it does come down to money at the end of the day, and it's like I think when it can be I think it could be a different thing if it's like a live service game that's not been out for very long, like some that have not been. It's like
Concord.
One of those situations which we've had a few of this year. I think if you were the poor sucker who put 70 quid or whatever into that, and then it's like, oh, it's coming down. Like, I think then it's a different story. But once again, live service games are a huge risk, I think, as an investment, because, and, we've had a few horror stories from people going, wow, Fortnite makes loads of money. Let's make this game or this studio into a live service thing, and it doesn't work like that. It's very difficult. It's its own thing. And I think at the end of the day, it does come to money. Live service is a risk. I think it's a risk when you're buying into it, and it's also a huge risk to make. But I do like your idea that if you are no longer using the IP, or if you're no longer planning to push it forward, just release it to the people. I think it's the same with any old game. Like, you want these games to live on, and we all want to dive back into nostalgia at times, and keep the games alive.
I think that's it. If there's a way that after a certain amount of time it goes, and then it can be given to some sort of society that for preservation. I know GOG are doing that at the moment and running a massive campaign. The people behind CD Projekt Red are trying to do that for games like theme hospital and stuff like that to preserve games. If that can be done and they agree some sort of deal, I think that would keep everyone happy. But it's one of those things. We'll find out more about the lawsuit as and when it happens. And if we get a verdict, we will tell you on this very show. Let's move on to talking of games that have lasted for a long, long time. Let's talk about this. Gozzo says, I still love classic retro games, and it's the prime of our lives. Well, talking of retro games, here's our next one for tonight. This is a bit like the Jeff Minter story that we had back in February, where it's a number of games, but also a documentary. We have got Tetris Forever, which came out last week on PS4, 5, Xbox Series X, S1, Switch, and PC, which is not only nearly all the versions of Tetris, but a wonderful documentary. Have a look at this.
This is Mr. Alexei Pozitlov.
Play Tetris.
I still play with my box of pentaminas, and I'm wondering why nobody play against each other. I just start programming it.
Up until that point, I thought we had all the rights.
Turned out he didn't have the rights. I said, Gilman, we made a deal. You can't just walk away and say that, sorry, there was no deal. We have a deal. With a tourist visa, 2 days later, I got on a plane, went to Moscow. I'm not coming back till I have these rights.
There's some kind of an addictive loop.
I'm really hooked on this game.
You want to keep clearing lines.
Harmonically, everything comes together.
I believe that Tetris will be here forever.
Tetris is the perfect game.
There you go, folks. Tetris Forever, which, as I say, is not only a wonderful documentary and history, but also 15 other games. Dave, anything else you can add to that? Because it's pretty much what it says on the tin, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you covered most of it. As you said, there's 15 games in there. I think some of them haven't been available over in the West before. I think some of them might have been Japanese only. So get some extra ones. And also there's a new one they've put in there as well. And that sort of brings together bits from each of the games. So when you're competing against your friends, you might each be on a different board from a different game, across the years. That's cool. I think it looks pretty cool. Nice looking collection. Nice to see them do things like this because it lets you delve into the history. And Tetris has definitely got some interesting history behind it.
Tetris's history is nuts. I remember watching the Apple film that they did, the biography of it, and I never thought a film about rights would be so thrilling, but it really is. It's nuts how that game ended up coming to be the worldwide phenomenon that it is. So I think that documentary would be absolutely fascinating. And talking about preserving games to play different older versions of Tetris and to bring them back, once again, that's a really cool thing. Yeah.
Okay, folks, we've already got some scores in for this one. Let's have a look. Scrolling down. Danka said everyone loves a bit of Tetris. 8.5. Mike says 8.5 Tetris blocks out of 10. Gozzo saying 8.5 as well. Flame saying 8 on that. Dave, I'll start with you on this one. Chat, get your scores in now, please.
I'm going to go for 8.5.
8.5 for Dave. Kate, what do you reckon this got?
I'm going to go, it's Tetris. It's a classic. It's got a good, it looks like a good documentary as well. I'm going to go for a 9.
Going for a 9. Jenny's right there with you on it as well. Jenny's saying for a 9. Tetris is a 10, says Dan. So says, sweet, I am falling asleep. Take care. Night, safe. You take care. Thanks for being here. Always appreciate it. Ryan says an 8. Any other scores, folks? This is your last chance. This is Tetris Forever, which is out last Tuesday on PS4, 5, Xbox Series X, S1, Switch, and PC. Games Guru saying a 9. Iquel say Tetris is classic and the documentary is cool, but the versions will be quite similar. I'm saying an 8. And if there are no more scores in chat, I can tell you this got an 8.5 out of 10.
Nice.
So there you go, Dave. Well done.
Got one.
Kate, you're so close. You're so close. Well done to everyone who got it right. There you go. Free right, man. You're on a roll tonight. You're along with Gozzo and Danka, who are getting them right. They're smashing it out of the park this week. Well done to all of you. And of course, Dave. If you want to give Dave a shout out, exclamation Dave in chat. And it does that. But we also give, because Dave doesn't have a channel, we have to shout him out in a different way. So how do you want your shout out, Dave?
Let's start with some spinning on the old chair, mate.
Spinning on the old chair. Let's do it all, shall we? Get ready for this. Kate's never going to have seen anything like this in her whole career. Are you ready? In three.
I don't think I am. I don't think I am, but
brace yourself.
Ready? Dave!
I felt things I never knew I could feel.
Horror and revulsion, I'm assuming.
Love it. There you go. Dave gets his first one right. What pizzazz? He's like, Dave, what pizzazz? Here you go. Everyone's shouting Dave in chat as well. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Let's move on to our fourth game. So this is a remake. We get quite a few remakes, but this is out only on Switch. This came out last Thursday. And all the things, there's obviously games, but then you get a game that's turned into a different version that is then a remake, which makes it even more complicated because this is Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake. Let's have a look at the trailer for that, as if that wasn't complicated enough.
Long have we waited. So long have we waited for this day.
You know that to stand against mighty Barabas is to throw away your life. And yet you still came.
Surely one such as you will be able to deliver us from the menace of the Archfiend.
You must gather the orbs and take them to the shrine of the Everbird.
Use my blades to bring peace to the world.
You know me to tell.
I won't make you suffer much.
The time of departure is upon us. Venture forth and do what must be done.
Listen well, child of Ortega. The light will return. Of that I am
sure. Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D Remake. Available November 14th.
PlayStation.
There you go, folks. Bit of an epic trailer, but that is Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D Remake. There you go. Jesse said, if I had a soul, I'd probably have shrunk a bit after seeing this art style. But now you know how I feel in real life, as I have shrunk. There you go. Dave, tell us more about this one.
Well, we'll do. So I think this one was the start of a trilogy in the Dragon's Crest series. So we're bound to see remakes of the following ones as well at some point, I reckon, in the same style, which will no doubt shrink Jesse's soul a bit more each time. But, well, Dragon's Quest is a massive series, so I reckon this is going to do pretty well. This is following a character whose father originally went on the quest that he's now been summoned to take on. His father failed in his quest to defeat this arch fiend that's causing trouble in the world. You've now got to take on that quest yourself since you've come of age. You're going to do the usual JRPG stuff, meet various people on the way, bring them into your party, help them out with some of their own quests and things, and then do your best to destroy this arch fiend. See if you can complete what your father failed to do. Now, I mean, I do like the art style that they've done with this. They've done a number now of this HD 2D remake. I've had the Octopath Traveler games that I thought looked really good in the style. And I still think this looks really good. It's not a game I'm going to rush out and play because I never played the originals, got no nostalgia for them. But I know it's a massive series, so a lot of people are going to try this out. And I think it works well what they do, mix the 2D sprites with the new 3D artwork. I think it looks nice. It looks pretty decent to me.
It looks amazing. It looks amazing.
I'm a bit confused. So, was the original a 3D game? Or
no, it would have been 2D sprites way back when.
Oh, so what they've done is they've done the 2D sprites and then they've got the 3D background.
Yeah, that's right. It's a sort of modernised
I was literally thinking they'd made a 3D game and then gone, we've done a 2D remake. And I'm like, what? I literally, the whole trailer, I was just like, but why? But now that makes more sense. My score is now higher.
Okay. All right. Let's see what we got. Because we have got some scores in already. Manic says 8.5 dragons on a quest out of 10. So been hoping it's got a 2.5D remake as wanting to play the Dragon Quest series from scratch. 8.5 again. Dark Siren. Hello, Dark Siren. Good evening. Good to see you. 8 out of 10 for this one. Get your scores in chat now. Kate, I'll start with you. What do you reckon this got?
Now that I know and understand that it is originally a 2D game and not a 3D game that's been remade into 2D, I would say it's probably going to be an 8.5. It seems like it's going to be a good game. It seems like it's got a good story. I think there's going to be a big fan base for it. Yes, I would say an 8.5.
8.5 from you. Flame says 7.5. Jesse not loving it. 2 out of 10. There you go.
I mean, it could be a cash grab. It could be a nostalgia cash grab.
It could be.
Just saying.
But it could be good. And this is the closest we're getting to a full 3D remake. They actually did do a 3D to 2D remake of Dragon Quest. What's that? 11. When it was on 3DS. Oh my God. Okay. Jenny says a 4 out of 10. Big Jesse said, the reason he scored it too is he'd rather have the original. So there you go. There you go. iQuell is going.
Cash grab.
There you go. Could be a cash grab, couldn't it? I'm going with a 9. Dave, what say you?
I'm going to go for a 9. It's a popular series. I reckon it might score high.
Okay. All right. Last chance, folks. Get your scores in. This is Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake, which came out last Thursday on Nintendo Switch. And if there are no more scores in the chat, Computer Club says an okay 8. Just snuck in with there. I can tell you that there seems to be a theme running with some of tonight's games because this did land an 8.5 out of 10.
Yes!
Go on, Kate.
Yes! Oh, yes!
There you go.
Happy with that.
Well done, Kate. Well done. So can we get a shout out for the Steam link for Kate's game? Please do go wishlist it. And do you know, you're probably officially the most excited guest we've ever had who's got one of these right. Officially, ever.
I just really like winning. Even if there's not even a competition, if I feel like I've won, I'm happy.
Yeah. Dank was like, blooming, you were so loud, it blew his speakers. There you go. Did not expect this level of enthusiasm from me next week. That's fine, Jesse. We don't. You can just sit there and go, yeah, it's shit. We can do that. Fine.
Yay!
That was amazing. Amazing. The celebration sound was like a football watching the football. There you go. Well done to everyone else who got it right. Gozzo's got 4 for 4. Manic's got 4 for 4. Well done. I think Danka got that right as well. Well done, everyone. No, loving the enthusiasm. Do it. It's great.
I'm sorry that the giddles have started.
It's become a thing. There you go. There you go. Jesse says, ugh, wrong again. is you wrong again. It's the most you'll get out of me next week. There you go. There you go. But there you go. Please do go wish list Kate's game, Itty Bitty Toilet Kitty. We'll play the trailer again at the end of the show. But do go wish it on Steam. It will be hopefully out for start of next year, which is awesome. Let's talk some more gaming news. Xbox gave us 2 updates this week about what they've been getting up to. The first one is quite interesting, really, because everyone's been going, are Xbox going to do consoles? Are they not going to do consoles? Is it only going to be cloud gaming? What are they doing? And the first thing that came out of Phil Spencer's mouth last week was that an Xbox handheld console is in the works, but don't expect it anytime soon, was his exact words. Now, apparently they're doing a lot of work to improve the Xbox app and Xbox Game Pass experience, and that's what a lot of their focus is on. But I think the first question I'm going to say is, what would we expect of a handheld Xbox console? Because obviously we've had the Nintendo Switch for a very long time. We don't know what the next Nintendo console is going to be, whether it's going to be very similar to the Switch, but way better, or whether it might not. It might be a physical console. We don't know. But then we've also had the Steam Deck, which has done really, really well. So the question is, what do we think that they could do? What could we think they could do to make that like stand out? It's not really a competitive market when you think about it.
I think it's all down to the Game Pass and the games that they can get on it. I think because Switch, like Nintendo does its own thing. Nintendo has its own IPs, its own kind of thing. Then that's what, that's what it does. And I'm a big Nintendo lover. I grew up on Nintendo. I absolutely love my Switch, but I'm also invested in a lot of the intellectual properties from Nintendo. Steam Deck, what you had is you've got the access to Steam and having it, carrying it around. It really is about them building up that Game Pass. And I've been on the Xbox Game Pass before. I had it when I had my laptop, and they did have access to good games. Definitely better than the PlayStation Game Pass, which I don't rate very much at all. PlayStation Game Pass seems to have like a couple of good games on each month and then not so much. So I think if they can do a good Game Pass and they can also have exclusives as well, I think, what drives people to PlayStation and what drives people to Nintendo is, I'm going to get a Switch when there's a new Zelda game. I am going to get a PlayStation when there's a new From Software game, because I love those, love those franchises. Xbox, to me, I'm yet to see that exclusive that makes me go, I'm going to fork out for whatever console that they bring, which is a shame, because actually the Game Pass, from what I remember, had some really interesting indie games in there. There's some really good stuff on there. And that could be very exciting on a handheld, but I think it's about building up that pass, personally.
Okay. All right. Well, Dave, I'm going to come to you for this next bit, because it was interesting with what they said next, because they also stated, and Phil Spencer said this was the other bit of news, that whereas we've had the PS5 Pro, which came out literally just the other week, he stated that Xbox will not be doing a mid-gen refresh. There will be no Xbox Series X, S/S/X, whatever they call it, like last time. They basically said they don't feel that they need to do it, and they don't basically need to sell a console for $1,000. So basically having a dig at Sony. But what they're stating is the reason they feel they shouldn't need it is when the Xbox 360 came out, and then you had the Xbox 360 Slim, there was quite a bit of a jump in terms of technology of what there was. And with the Xbox One and the Xbox One S, again, it was moving things forward to like 4K. And they're stating that really, hardly anyone has 8K. So they don't see the point of doing it. Now, whether they do it if they bring out another console or whatever further down the line, but they're saying they just don't feel it's right to do it because there isn't the need for that technology yet. What are your thoughts on that, Dave?
Well, yeah, you're right. There's no real driver, is there? I mean, I bought the PS5 Pro and I'm enjoying it, but you're right. There's no need for connecting it to an 8K screen because barely any games support that. I think only a couple really support an 8K output. But I think Microsoft, they decided early on in the generation that cost of components wise, even if they were to try and do a mid-gen refresh, they just wouldn't have been able to do it for a decent amount. We've seen the PS5 Pros like £700 over here, more in Europe. It's an expensive machine, and Microsoft, if they couldn't have done it any better than that, they could have come out more expensive depending on what they put in there. Just not worth it. And considering that they're in third place, lagging behind Sony, who've at least got their brand power to push some sales of their mid-gen refresh. I think it's probably a good job Microsoft didn't, because it just wouldn't sell. There's not enough people who really be that interested in it at the moment. So, it's probably more interesting they're going down the handheld route. Be interesting to see what they come up with, because there's already a shitload of Windows-based handhelds that you can install Game Pass onto and play all the games on there. So they need to do something to stand out there. It needs to be. It's going to have to come out at a good price. They probably need to rework the whole OS on it. Because if they just bring it out with Windows on, that's not great, because Windows is shit on handhelds. It's not designed for them. So they need to do a complete overhaul, like Valve did with the Steam Deck. Their OS on that they rework with on Linux is brilliant, because your console-like experience of PC games. It's awesome. Whatever Valve, whatever Microsoft do with their handheld needs to do something similar to that, really, to stand out in that market, because that is now a busy market. Lots of handhelds. Steam Deck probably been one of the best ones there.
Yeah, I mean, Steam Deck's very, very popular. It has done wonders for gaming, especially indie games, which is great. But I don't know. We'll have to see what Xbox says. I mean, they say things and then the things don't happen. But at least we know people aren't going to be trading in their Xboxes for $1,000 to get a Xbox Series XS/S/X/S/.5.4.5/X. So there you go. So there we go.
You should totally be in charge of branding. I think that's a great title.
I would be quite happy for them to pay me a shitload of money to come up with some of the worst ideas ever, and I would probably run with them, because anyone who's seen Xbox's recent campaign will probably understand where I'm coming from with that. Let's move on, folks. We will be talking about the PS5 Pro a little bit later on in our other news story. But let's move on to our next set of games. This is a game that I did actually get to play at EGX and did enjoy. And this is the latest Lego game, but it's something a little bit different, because it's the first time they've taken an IP which Sony owns. This came out last Thursday on PS5, obviously, but also on Switch and PC. So it's not a PS5 exclusive in that right. This is Lego Horizon Adventures. Let's have a look at this.
I got you right where I want you.
Aloy!
In the far future, there are no TVs, just beautiful and totally not boring nature everywhere. Oh, and giant robot dinosaurs, of course. But you're not here to listen to me. This is a game, not an audiobook.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
Bricks are gonna fly! Pow!
Time for a paddling.
Yeah!
This is gonna hurt.
Power hit!
Up I go. How do you like this? Boom! Sure it's dead.
Whoa, looking good.
Stretch your stuff.
Let's dance.
I've got fabulous taste.
That one goes on top.
Yeah, no, that's it.
Always leave a place better than you found it. Drop that beat, silence!
Cool new stuff.
Whoa!
Let's join Aloy as she embarks on an epic adventure.
There you go. So they're basically taking an iconic PlayStation game and giving it the Lego treatment. I'm gonna say this before Dave gives a synopsis. So I got to play this. It was about a 15-20 minute demo of this. The first thing I noticed is this did not feel like a Lego game. Yes, it had the humor and the things. It's instantly family friendly, and they put their take on it, and I did quite like it. But it didn't feel like your typical Lego game where you're going around smashing everything and doing crazy things and solving puzzles. It seemed very linear in that respect, but I did like the fact that I've still yet to play any of the Horizon games, and it did kind of pique my interest into actually looking into what they're like. But the humor was on point. I have to say that the humor was massively on point, and it did make me laugh in only the 20 minutes I got to play of it. But I'm sure Dave can tell us more. So let us know.
Yeah, will do. So yeah, this is originally when I saw this, I thought it was going to be like its own sort of separate story in like the Horizon universe, but it's a retelling of Horizon Zero Dawn story. They've abridged it, skipped out some stuff. It hits all the sort of main beats, but instead of the more sort of serious tone in the mainline Horizon games, you've got the silliness that Lego throws in there. So they sort of change the characters around a bit, give them something to make them funny. Like one person now has a bit of a donut fetish.
Yeah,
the character's now a DJ. So they completely change what the characters are from the main game, which I suppose is fitting because it's a Lego game. It's aimed at kids. I've seen a few complaints about it that, as you mentioned, there's not really much you can destroy in there, apparently. There's a few things, but not much, not like the older games. And it is a bit repetitive. You fight a few waves of enemies, collect a few things, go back to Mother's Heart, which is like your hub, build that up, add stuff to there, unlock some costumes. So it's just kind of standard Lego fare. I don't think it's an amazing Lego game compared to some of the other ones that I've done in the past. I don't even know if this brand's particularly, going to be that popular with the kids that this is aimed at, because they don't know the Horizon games.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like when I first heard it, because I haven't played all the way through the Horizon game. I kind of started it and then didn't finish it. But it's a grown-up game. It's not something that I'm going to give to my 11-year-old nephew. He's got a few years to wait, and it seems like such a random choice to turn into a Lego game. I'm like, are they going to do God of War next? Are they going to do the Lego Last of Us? It just seems like to take such an adult IP to then turn it into a Lego. I do have to say, I like the writing style though. It seems like it's a lot of fun. It gave me Lego Movie vibes, which I absolutely freaking love the Lego Movie. I think the Lego Movie is a stroke of genius in terms of its comedy writing. But it seems like such an odd IP to choose to turn into a Lego game. And it does make me wonder.
I was going to say, they're probably hoping something like the parents who played the Horizon games will use this to introduce their kids to the world, perhaps.
Maybe, yeah.
Otherwise, I can't really see any kids would know anything about it.
Indiana
Jones, Star Wars.
Marvel. I mean, all of those are things that kids have watched.
Yeah,
they'll have watched. They'll have watched a Star Wars film or India, or an Indiana Jones film, but they're not going to have any connection. Yeah, Pirates. All this is the stuff that my nephew absolutely is obsessed with and loves at the moment. But he's not going to have any idea what Horizon is. But maybe it's a tester. Maybe they want to see whether it's successful, and maybe adults can drive kids to it, and then the kids will then, when they're a bit older, play the older version of the game. So we could have Lego God of War at some point. Who knows?
Will's got a very good point. This is a perfect point, because I know they've already announced they're doing these, but with the robot dinosaurs, it's got great marketing for Lego toys. They've already announced they're doing line. So I think this is.
You can already get a Tornex set.
Probably
ones coming out. They will be cool.
It's probably more about the toys than the game.
Yeah, I think they'll use the game to shift the toys, and that's what it'll do. Let's see what scores people are saying about this. Manic is saying 7 out of 10. Danka said Lego is a bit hit and miss depending on the IPs they acquire. This is a bit of a miss, 7. Dart Siren says a 6. Gozzo says a 7. Gilfly an 8. Will 7.5. Another one of our competition winners last night. I hope you got your copy of your game, Will. Let me know. Flame. Walker's now claimed hers as well. She sent me a message, which is good. Flame says 7. Dave, start with you. What do you reckon this got?
I'm going to go for a 6.5.
6.5 on this one. iQuail is saying an 8. Kate, what do you reckon?
I'm going to go for a 7. I've heard the criticisms of the gameplay, but I do think it sounds like it's funny and reasonably well written. So I'm going to go for a 7.
Okay, going for a 7. Folks, this is your last chance. This is Lego Horizon Adventures, which came out last Thursday on PS5, Switch, and PC. And if there are no more guesses, I can tell you that this got a solid 7 out of 10.
Yes!
Casey's now got 2. That's the winner's dance right there.
I think
so
she's
happy.
pleased about that.
I'm really pleased. Oh, yeah.
Manic
I'm getting into this now. I'm getting into the swing.
Getting it right. There you go. Well done, Flame, who got it right. Well done. Who else got it right? Gozzo, well done. Manic, well done. Danker, well done. I mean, those three are 5 for 5 at the moment, which is really interesting. So they're doing really, really well. They're doing really, really well. Well done, everyone. But do go wish list Kate's game. The link is in there. Thank you to Jesse and Dan for putting it. Go check it out. Wish list it. It's amazing. We're going to play the trailer a little bit later on. There we go. And well done to everyone else that got it right. Let's swiftly move on to another game. Now, this is another game that I got to play at a show, but it was actually September last year's WASD. God rest its soul, because that's another gaming show that's now officially gone, as reported by BBC last week. We kind of already said it had gone 3 months ago, so it's kind of old news. No offense. But yeah, unfortunately, that's gone. But well, I actually got to play this and meet the devs of this. And this has finally come out. And this came out last Thursday. And this is called Sorry, We're Closed. Let's have a look at the trailer for this.
I'm not the victim, I am the system. I'm not in the wrong with my infinite wisdom. Follow my words even if I contradict them. It's my house, Michelle, I'll be the one to evict them. Don't want another demon past the ones within my mind. And it's with that resolution that I'll kill you every time. Change is meaningless, when it gets too close I hit rewind. It's a cycle I'll endure and I will love it till I die.
Angelic demons, transcending heathens. The balance on the scale between good and evil ain't even. And even when it is, there's always someone trying to tip it. Tug of war with my arms instead of rope, I'm so conflicted. Wishing things could be like this and stay the same. When things feel so good here, what would ever make me change? Rebirth over continuance any day. What's the point of arguing? We gon' start over anyway, huh? Back and forth, 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 yeah, back and forth, back and forth.
There you go, folks. That is Sorry, We're Closed. When I spoke to the devs about this game, they were very much going for the PS1 era of games. But they kind of took it, they said, like, it's a semi-horror mystery game and action game. And some of it is very, like, set camera angles, sort of Resident Evil style. But it's the fact you can bounce from that into third person as well, which made the game quite interesting, which I thought was quite good. So when you're in the battles, if you can't see where you're going, just zip into third person, which I thought was pretty damn clever. So I played this for about 10-15 minutes last year. I quite like what I played. It comes across as quite a cool, creepy little horror game, which is quite cool. Big Jessie says she gets her bra from the same place as Lara Croft. Yes, apparently so. There you go. Manic says this feels like a No More Heroes prequel. There you go. Hammocks Are Us. Is that where they buy their bras, apparently? There you go. Dave, tell us a little bit more about this game.
Yeah, as you mentioned, it's going for that PS1 style of survival horror game with those fixed camera angles that we're all used to from that era. This one's following a girl called Michelle who's been cursed by a demon. I think he's sort of cursed her to sort of fall in love with him or something like a few days. So she's got a short amount of time to try and break this curse. So she ends up going down to the sort of hell world to try and break it by battling through all the demons down there. But she has got this one skill. She's got a third eye that she can open, and that lets her, find like hidden objects in the environment around her. You can use it when you go into first person to fights to see the enemy's weak points. But of course, when you're in that first person view, you are stuck and rooted to the spot, a bit like you were in the old PS1 games, the old survival horrors. You were always stuck in the spot and you're aiming your weapon. So they've kept that in there. Now, I mean, we've seen quite a few of these, and whilst I quite like the art styles, I don't like the art style of this one at all. I'm not a fan of it, so I wouldn't play it because the art style completely puts me off it. But as I say, I've seen other types of PS1 sort of D-makes like this that do look good. It's just this one just doesn't appeal to me at all. Might be the same for other people. I don't know. I think it's a bit of a sort of odd style it's gone for. It just doesn't gel for me at all.
Okay, fair enough. That is fair enough. Kate, your thoughts on this one?
I'm still processing my thoughts a little bit. I feel like they found a section of my mind, like the kind of really dark, weird section, and just went, here you go. And I'm like, that's like my dreams, basically. So I think I love little indie games. I love games made by small teams. I love the craziness and the creativity that can go into making these tiny games. I do think something like this could be either excellent or a bit terrible. What I find really interesting is how we're now going back to restrictions, like how they've created the restrictions of that old, kind of Resident Evil 1,
Yes.
like fixed camera handles, which at the time, if you replay those games, that they're frustrating and they're restricted and it's different, but it's like we're going back for that nostalgia, which I find quite interesting. We have all the technology to get, any one of us could get if we've got a bit of money and if we save up a bit, we can get a laptop and, if you're lucky, you can download Unreal and get some asset packs and make a really hyper-realistic game. Or you can do what I do and get, a small little game engine and make something on your laptop. We have everything possible to make whatever you friggin' want if you put the time in. And yet we're now going, actually, we have so many possibilities. Let's go back to the restriction and let's go back to not having it. So I don't know. Interesting thing. But I think it could go one way or another with this one. I do actually quite like the art style. I think it's quite quirky and quite unusual. I think, I think it could go one way or another. But I love the creativity and the bonkersness of small independent games. Like it's like the crazy ideas that people come together. I enjoy that. So I appreciate it, even though I've not played it, but I like what I see.
All right. Okay. Well, let's see what people are saying. Danker's like, 8.5 for this one. Gozzo also agreeing 8.5. Manic also agreeing 8.5. PS1 horror out of 10. Ghost Carrot Will says 7 out of 10. Gilfire says he reckons it's about 7.5 with the tank controls. Says Will. Folks, get your scores in the chat if you want to have a guess. Flame is saying an 8. Kate, I'll start with you on this one. What do you reckon?
I'm gonna go 7.5.
7.5. Okay. iQuail saying 7. Dave, what say you?
It's tricky, isn't it? I don't like the look of it, but these sorts of games are quite popular. I'm going to try an 8 for it, see if it's scored high.
Okay, going for an 8. Folks, this is your last chance. This is Sorry We're Closed, which came out last Thursday on PC. And if there are no more guesses in the chat, I can tell you that, again, we're running with that theme because this got 8.5 out of 10 on average. It's done really, really well. So big shout out to the devs who I met. Obviously it was that long ago I met them, and it's my fault, I've not stayed in touch with them. I did get a press release when the game was coming out, but I was just like flipping it. So fair play to them. They've done really, really well. I hope it does great. So there you go.
Really good.
There you go.
I will be playing it. I am going to get it and play it because I'm like, this looks like my cup of tea.
There you go. It's perfect. Malik says, yes, 6 right. 6 for 6 is a good score. It certainly is. Again, also, Gozzo, Danker, 6 for 6. Are they going to get 8 for 8? That's the question. Find out after we talk about this bit of gaming news. So, not everyone's likes Embracer Group because of what they've been doing over the course of time. But some of you might enjoy this news story. Some of you might not. But it's official that Embracer Group have put out their sales figure. And it means their sales have taken a massive dive compared to last year. This has mainly been down to a number of things. In terms of gaming for them, obviously they had the Lord of the Rings Return to Moira game that came out, which did okay for them. It's kind of where they expected it to be. But the big kick in the teeth for them was the Epic Mickey game, Rebrushed, which came out literally probably only about just over a month ago. Good evening, Ems. How you doing? Also forgot to say good evening, DJ Mike, if you're still here. Hello, buddy. They really did it. That did not sell. That did not sell. And they basically said that the sales were slow and very unsatisfactory. Talking of satisfactory, the game Satisfactory also did very, very well when it came out in September, which is the sort of open plan factory building game, and launched literally with 200,000 concurrent players on Steam. So that did really well for them. However, in terms of the company itself, staff has massively dropped. They started with 10,654 staff this year, now down to 6,250 staff. So they've lost a couple of thousand there. And obviously, they sold off Gearbox, as we know, that looks after the Borderlands games, everything, and sold off Saber Interactive, which they're probably kicking themselves for because they had the massive hit with Space Marine 2 back in September. So that got a bit of a kick in the teeth. They also are selling off a mobile game company that I'd not heard of called Easy Brain for a cool 1.2 billion. So that will obviously recoup some of the losses that they've made. And they are hoping that they will recoup their money when we get the next Kingdom Come Deliverance game, which is due out in February. Dan, that is a horrific number of layoffs. It is. So Embracer Group, whether you love them or hate them, are not doing that well. And the games they've brought out are either done average or below, unfortunately. I think only Satisfactory is the game that's been satisfactory for them. Thoughts, folks, on this? I know there's a lot of hate for Embracer Group, but yeah, they're not doing well, are they?
I mean,
no.
Sorry.
Do you want to go, Kate?
No, I mean, this is just the general state of the industry at the moment. I mean, if I go on my LinkedIn, it's the most depressing thing in the world ever. It's basically a constant stream of this company is closing, this company is doing layoffs, this company is doing this. Like, I'm not, there's a reason why I've spent most of this year making a cat game and not writing. Like, it's been a really rough time for the game industry. If you know anyone who works in the game industry, give them a hug and buy them a coffee, because either they've not got a job or they've been stressing about losing their job. I think, sadly, there's still going to be more layoffs before the end of the year. I think there are going to be more studio closures. I think I still don't fully understand that. I get different things about why this has all happened. I think at the end of the day, everyone just got a little bit. Game was doing very well, and everyone just invested so much that it was impossible for some of these games to make money back. There's been some terrible decisions made, and of course, people have got laid off because of it.
Yeah.
I think it's a universal thing, and whether you love these companies or hate them, you might love this company, you might hate them, you might love Ubisoft, you might hate them. A lot of, it's a lot of jobs that have gone this year. So yeah, if you know anyone who's involved in game dev, buy them a hot chocolate or a coffee and give them a hug, because it's been a rough year.
It's been a rough year. We've literally reported on a lot of news stories have been, layoffs and stuff, and we always report them as they happen. Dave, any thoughts on this, my friend?
Well, I mean, with Embracer specifically, I mean, they're still going to be trying to recover themselves, because they tried to grow too big too fast.
Yeah.
And then they lost like $2 billion of investment that they were expecting, but they'd brought loads of studios. And at the one point when they were doing that, we had a great hope they're going to bring back loads of franchises that we wanted to see again. But then they've cancelled loads of those games. They closed into the studios, sat loads of people to try and recoup some of the money they've
everything
lost.
You've just said, everything you just said is like a copy and paste for so many studios, whether they're big or small. It's exactly the same story.
Yeah, they're all trying to keep the line going up, aren't they? It's like, they all grew really big during COVID. Didn't really think that we would go back outside once COVID finished, and we wouldn't be playing their games anymore. But they grew. They still want their lines to go up, so you've just got to sack people so you can keep that line going higher for your shareholders. It's shitty, really, but it's the way they go.
Big Jesse said you will definitely have seen some of the Easy Brain games, e.g. pixel art and nanograms. Yeah, they ring a bell. They're all mobile phone games, obviously. Will was saying, where are Embracer from? Where they originate? So, thing is, they've got studios all over the world and stuff, because obviously all the different companies they own, but I don't know where their core office is, I'll be honest.
I think they're splitting themselves into different entities next year.
I find it interesting.
Like 3 different entities.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Go on, Kate.
No, I find it interesting that the mobile phone company is the one that sold for 1.5 billion, because from the word of mouth of people I know, the ones who've been involved in mobile have been in a more safer space than the people who've been involved in console, because of course we take our mobile phones everywhere, so we play when we are out in the world and going no longer COVID, fresh air, socializing. We're playing phones on our mobile phones. I find that quite interesting.
There you go. They're based in Sweden. The main thing's based in Sweden. There you go. Oh, well, we'll have to see how Kingdom Come Deliverance does for them when that releases out next February. Let's move on to our final 2 games of the night. This is an interesting one. I like this because this is almost like a collection of interactive games. This came out last Thursday. This is on Switch, PC, and mobile phone, as we were just talking. It was almost like I wrote this show, isn't it? It's funny how this works. So there you go. Let's check out this. This is Miniatures. See what they did there. There you go, folks. That is Miniatures. Tell us a little bit more about this one, please, Dave.
Yeah, this is just a collection of 4 little sort of short, sort of interactive stories. It looks like they're not really sort of puzzling or anything like that. You're just doing like actions to like move the narrative forward by looking at it in these games. And they're an interesting little mix. You know, one of the stories is you know, you and your family like building some flat pack furniture, whereas another one is you like searching for like your missing like mother, and another one has got you like looking at little musical instruments for creatures who live in a sandcastle. So you got a bit of variety in these stories. I think they're all fairly sort of short little ones to play through, you know, just to sort of experience. So it looks like the sort of game you could perhaps like flick on for like a Sunday afternoon. You know, if you want to break from like the big massive open world games, something a bit short, a bit whimsical. You know, you can just flick this on. I think you could play through like an hour or so. It's not meant to be particularly long, but it kind of looks interesting. Nice hand drawn animation style to it. Quite cool.
Yeah, it looks okay. It's sort of that thing that, again, if it was on Game Pass, I'd probably jump on it, but it's not necessarily grabbed me. Kate, your thoughts?
I think it looks really beautifully. Like, it feels more like you're playing. It feels more like an art house kind of thing, like an art house kind of game, which can be hit and miss. Sometimes they can be a little bit too pretentious, and sometimes they can be really beautiful. Like Gris is one of my favorite games, which I consider very much an art house game. Absolutely gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. I do like shorts though. I mean, as much as I love a good 100-hour open world, you know, get completely consumed, I also am appreciating like a nice short game. You play it in an afternoon, it's done. I think there's something to be said about that, and I'd quite like a little bit more. I actually recently replayed Arkham City because I love the you know, the Batman Arkham games, and I was actually really surprised with how short the main story is. I was like, actually, this is actually quite short. Oh, if you replay it, it is shorter than you think it is, because we're so used to 100-hour games that you forget that actually games used to just be like 6 to 10 hours. So I quite enjoy like a narrative, you know, I love a narrative experience, and I quite like something that's short. So yeah, if it was on a Game Pass, I would probably go, you know, I'll play this whilst I'm in the bath. That sounds nice. You know, I would say that would be, it looks good.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see what people are saying. Manic says this is an 8.5. Danker's like, ooh, 7.5. Gozzo's going 7.5. Ems is going for an 8. Dave, we'll start with you on this one. What do you reckon?
I'm going to try a 7.5.
7.5 for this one. Jesse says, we all like something short. That's why we watch Mag. Thank you, Jesse.
Oh.
Right. Kate, what do you reckon to this one?
Oh, this is getting harder and harder. I'm going to go 8.
Going for an 8. Okay.
Going for an 8.
Flame says an 8. I was about to make that same joke. Beat you to it, Iquel. Folks, this is your last chance. This is Miniatures, which came out last Thursday on Switch, PC, and mobile phone. Get your scores in. That's literally the nicest thing I've said to him in chat all year. That's a lie. He said nicer things than that. Iquel is 8.5. Dan's trying to confirm it. It's not true. I don't know why you're trying to confirm that. Any more scores, folks? Last chance. Gilfly says an 8. There you go. Jenny says an 8. Dave says a 9. And I can tell you, if there is no more, that this was quite... Oh, Dave's changed his mind. He's saying, wait, an 8. Okay. Change it to an 8. I can tell you that this got very mixed reviews. DJ Mike says a 7 as well. And quite a lot of people were mixed on this. This got highs of 8s. But some people reviewed it as low as a 5.
Ooh.
And therefore, it averaged out on all the reviews as 6.5 out of 10.
Ooh. Oh, I was really far off.
Yeah, no, I think this is
too generous.
I think this is going to catch a lot of people out. And I was quite, again, we've had some like this last week where some reviews are just like complete polar to what. Again, as I say, you may agree with it, you may not. I actually think, even though this might not necessarily be my cup of tea, I would have thought that this would have got better than that. So
definitely.
Yeah, I don't agree with this score either, I'll be honest. But there you go. DJ Mike said, I said 7, but I had no idea what we were talking about. But there you go. There you go. That's fine, Mark. And at least you had a guess. You might have got it right. I don't think anyone said 6.5.
Well, you kind of assume when it's art house, you kind of assume it's, when it's got that arty house feel, you assume, it's going to be good. But actually, sometimes it is just like, sometimes these things can take themselves too seriously and forget to be a game.
Yeah, and I think maybe because it's more of an interactive experience than the game, as Dave said, then maybe that was people's, or maybe that's what people expect and they thought they're walking into a game and it's not, and therefore it's difficult to say.
It almost feels like it might work better as a VR experience.
Potentially, but we'd have to see. I don't
know.
We'll see. Moving on to our final game. It's no Horsetails. That's true. It can't be that art. Iquel was thinking of 6.5, but didn't say it, so unfortunately he doesn't get it right. No one actually got that one right, so there you go. Our final game of the night, folks. This came out last Friday on PC, Switch, and Xbox Series X and S. And this is titled Great God Grove. Let's have a look at the trailer for this.
That was brilliant.
That was cool. What of all the trailers you're going to finish on? It's great, isn't it?
Everything. I need that in my eyeballs right now. I have no idea what I watched because I was like dancing along to the music because I'm like, that's just everything. That is just everything. I love it. It's my game of the year and I've not even played it yet. I don't need anything else in my life. I just need that game.
Oh,
The
man.
art is dead. Nothing will top that.
That's it. That's it.
That's it. That's the end.
Move
of
over,
gaming.
Jeff Keighley. We got
That
the
is
game of
the
the year.
peak. That
There
is
you go.
the peak. Whoever created that, I'm in love with it. That is genius. That is seriously. People are going to look back on those in the future, and they're going to see that game, and they're going to go, "That is the peak of human creativity."
There you
Fucking
go.
love it.
Love it. Dave?
10.
That's about it. 10. Okay, let's go straight in. 10 out. Dave, tell us about the game. Go for it.
Well, this is its heart is a puzzle game, and your characters are in this world where usually the gods would get together every once in a while to stop an apocalypse happening, but the one god decides to set all the other gods, off, sort of competing against each other. He buggers off, leaves the whole place in disarray. Your little crew, you can see you got the normal little characters in the game. Then they're sort of, you see them as like puppets, Muppets, and like little cutscenes. They've got this little toy that you use to go and like grab like the phrases that people are saying, so you can just suck up any of their speech bubbles, and then use those to solve the puzzles. So you can see what they're solving the geese. They like threw that phrase in to sort of clear that little geese puzzle. So you can use the phrases to solve the puzzles. You can throw the phrases at people, just like upset them with whatever the words are if you want to, so they can mess with them a little bit. So yeah, it's this little sort of odd-looking little puzzle game. Got a very sort of interesting art style to it.
No idea what you've just said. Literally, that is so convoluted and complicated. It has gone over my head, and I don't care because it's still a 10. It is still the greatest thing created.
Well, let's see what everyone else is saying about it. Big Jesse says, I reckon this is going to be a 9. Manic says a 7.5. Danka says 7.5. Dave says 8.5. Gozzo says 7.5. DJ Mike says 7.5. I was going to say 7, but Kate has convinced me. So funk it. Let's go a 10.
Yes!
Jenny says funk it indeed. Also, Ems has said an 8. And Big Jesse did ask, does Kate play guitar?
No, I do not.
Well, there's a guitar behind you, but there you go.
Oh, yeah, I tried once. It didn't go well. So now it's just a display.
It's just there, so it's a bit of decoration. There you go.
Yeah.
Matt says a winner, 8.5. Flame says an 8. It feels like Cult of the Lamb meets Undertale. Dave, what do you reckon this has got?
7.5.
7.5. Okay, folks, your last chance to get a shout out. This is great.
All overlooking a masterpiece.
Okay. Came out last Friday on PC, Switch, Xbox Series X and S. Dark Siren says 5. Jesus Christ. Okay. I could tell you that this... Well, we did have a theme for this show. We seem to be getting a lot of games that got a certain score, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, this ain't one of them. This ain't got one of them, but this did get an 8 out of 10, which is decent.
Should have got more.
There you go. 8 out of 10 for this one. Did anyone actually... Ems, well done. You said 8. Well done. Did anyone else say 8? Or was it just Ems? Have I scuppered everyone again?
I think, yeah.
I'm literally going to be sharing that trailer with everyone.
A lot of people are
I
on the
know.
side of the 8.
Yeah, there you go. Flame said 8. Oh, well done, Flame. Sorry, I missed that. Sorry, buddy. There you go. Well done to everyone who got that one right. There you go. Well done. Well done indeed. There you go. And our highest scores were 6 out of 8. So well done to them. Did Dave actually say 8? They said, watch it be a 10. Where did Dave put his score? I'm looking for his score. I can't actually see it. Right, Dave put 8.5. You were off, Dave, by 0.5. But there you go. Dave said, to be fair, I was a little preoccupied. Well, you still got 6. Right. That ain't to be said. Yeah, I said 8.5. That's fine. Thanks for being honest, Dave. So, before we end the show, folks, let's talk about our last news story. We're going to hurry this along because we're rapidly running out of time. So we talked about what Xbox plans are for the future. But obviously we did have the PS5 Pro recently released, and Dave has gone and got one. So we can find out if he's found to have any of these problems. There's quite a lot of people who are not very happy with the PS5 Pro at the moment because they're finding that certain games are having a lot of graphical issues. Such games as Silent Hill 2, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, the new Call of Duty. They found that visuals that have sort of metallic sort of art styles or surfaces in games are causing horrible flickering, like really bad flickering on the games. And they're basically stating that it's the PSSR component that's causing this issue. And they are hoping that they patch this quickly, because the games like Silent Hill 2, when you're walking down the corridor of the hotel and there's bits of water, it's like you're having an epileptic seizure. It's frigging terrible. And also Star Wars with its metallic things, and Call of Duty with all its metal, and again, same problems. Now, not all the PS5 Pro games are having this problem, just certain ones. Dave, have you ever witnessed this problem on this?
What with the games I've played, no, because all the Sony first party stuff that's been patched and looks pretty good. It's the third party stuff, like you mentioned, like Silent Hill and Jedi Survivor. So it's the third parties that aren't doing a very good job here.
Yeah,
there's no point in blaming the console or the upscaler. You know, if you look at say Digital Foundry, who really show this off, the issues are obvious to see. So you do have to wonder about the devs and the publishers putting the patches out. There's no one actually look at these things and think, well, actually, that looks shit. The version we've got on the base PS5 looks better than this. Why are we pushing this out? I mean, unless I got like the blind guys in to have a look at it, do the QA on it. Fuck knows how they've let that out the door. But I wonder if they're just not allowing people the time or the money to do it, because Jedi Survivor's old news now. Maybe they just threw a couple of quid to some programmer to quickly knock up a patch, and that was it. They let it out the door without any checking. But it's not a very good look. I mean, you kind of think even Sony would perhaps have a look before they let some of this stuff out, because they want to show off this nice new expensive console in the best light. And these couple of games really do make it look a bit shit at the moment. It's not particularly good. I mean, they'll get fixed because they're getting slated. They'll get media and everything. Obviously. But it's just pathetic to let them out like this in the first place. Devs and publishers really should spend a bit more time. Look at it. The problems are there. They're obvious. You can't miss them. Silly.
Kate, any thoughts on this one?
I don't really have an opinion on it, because I've never been someone who's like gone for like the upscaled console. Like I've never had like the pro version of something. Like I played The Witcher 3 on my Switch Lite, like because at the time I could not afford anything else. I just could afford a Switch Lite, and I really wanted to play The Witcher 3, so I played it on that. And I couldn't care less about the graphics. I couldn't care less about the frame rate. All I care about is a damn good story and a good experience and getting immersed in the world. And if a game is good enough, none of this crap matters. If the story and the world and the gameplay and everything is good enough, you will just get immersed, and you will forget about the world around you, because the game will take you there. But once again, I am the worst person to speak on this, because I don't really notice frame rates or things or that, or it's like I'm there for the story, I'm there for the world, I'm there for the experience. I've never played an upgraded console. I have a PlayStation 5. I got it earlier. I got it at Christmas. I'm not upgrading it. It's fine for me. Just as I didn't upgrade my Switch. Most of my consoles are secondhand, to be honest. Like I usually go to CEX Collect, and I usually go, what's the cheapest one that's got like the least amount of disease on it, and I will get that one. And even then I'm like, you know what, I'll go for the diseased one. It's fine. We'll just cover it in bleach and it'll be okay.
It'll be fine. It'll get a good scrub.
Honestly, when I upgraded to an actual Switch that linked up to the television, which I got because I wanted to play Tears of the Kingdom on the television because I'm a big Zelda fan, even the guy selling the secondhand console was like, are you sure? Because it's grim. And I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. It's the cheapest one. I'll go for it.
Oh, man.
So yeah, PlayStation Pro is like, that's just not on my agenda.
There you go. Ems is a big Zelda fan.
Love Zelda. Love Zelda so much.
Awesome. All right, folks. Well, we will have more news and games for you on next week's show. Our guest will be, and he's in chat, bless him, the wonderful Big Jesse on the show. And we'll be talking about such games as Microsoft Flight Simulator, which came out today, the 2024 version, and a game that everyone has been very, very much waiting and anticipating for because of obviously the delays with obviously the war in the Ukraine and Russia, Stalker 2, which comes out I believe tomorrow, comes out tomorrow. So
tomorrow, 4 p.m. our time, I believe.
I
4
believe there's a
p.m. UK.
documentary for it as well. I
Yeah.
believe
There
there's
is,
a
you're right.
documentary about how they made it during the war, which will be
Yeah.
very interesting.
Yeah, there you go. John, you said I got the PS4 Pro and Xbox One X, but I didn't have either at the time. There you go. Dave says, I'm not Jesse. No, you're right. Good. There you go. I'm not getting a PS5 Pro. I have a PS5 and it's great. Yeah, I'm not. I'm sticking with the PS5. Not changing that. That's fine. There you go. And now Microsoft has said they're not doing a refresh of the Xbox console. Thank fuck for that, because I'm not buying a refresh of that either. Series X. So there you go. But we will have Big Jesse on the show and we'll be talking about those games. And if you want to see, I will be playing Stalker 2 on Thursday. That will be Thursday stream. We're playing Stalker 2 live on stream. Tomorrow night is community night and we will be playing Stampede Royal Racing, which is a free-to-play game on Xbox and PC. And it's basically what happens if you take Mario Kart with Fall Guys and mash them together. And that is what we are going to be playing. I played it at EGX last year. It was great fun. It was also at TwitchCon this year. Great game. So please join in. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our show. Can we have a massive thank you to the wonderful Kate?
Thank you for having me.
There you go. Been absolutely awesome. Jenny says, good luck with the game. I'm going to play the trailer one more time. Please put the link in. Do go wishlist this. This is Kate's first game. Check this out. This is Itty Bitty Toilet Kitty. Let's go. There you go. Dan Game Tanks, a smashing show all once again. This game scores 10 lives out of 10. Please do go wishlist it. And when Kate's game comes out at the start of next year, make it an absolute massive success. And so that she can do a sequel or do a game with zombies where it's told from the point of view of the
zombie cows.
Zombie cows. Zombie cow pissers. There you go.
Zombie cow pissers.
There you
Huge
go.
hit. 10 out of 10.
Anyone else find that blue tiling really satisfying? There you go. No, you're not pirating the game, Dave. Bad Dave. Because I didn't say that.
One.
There you go. Again, Kate, thank you so much for being a wonderful guest tonight. Thank you for being here.
And thank you for having me.
You are very, very welcome. Hopefully we will see you again very, very soon. As always, big shout out to the co-host that knows most, Mr. David Jones.
Always a pleasure, mate.
Always good. Thank you so much. And to you lot for watching at home. You are awesome. Thank you to the mods. Thank you to Dave, as always, for doing all the bits and pieces it does to keep me, I was going to say sane, but probably insane. But thank you to the mods and everyone for doing their jobs and keeping the show running. And thank you to you lot watching. As I say, back 9 o'clock tomorrow. Let's go do a raid. Let's see who is on. We'll send you wonderful people onto another show. Don't forget, Big Jesse is our guest next week, and he is our community member of the month. Let's have a look. We have got... actually, I'll tell you, there's someone we can raid that we've not raided before, which he will probably appreciate. And he will be at... well, that's the other thing I should say. He will be at the Twitch meet on the 6th of December. And Kate will be showcasing her game at the Manchester Twitch event. Kate will be there, so you can go meet Kate in person if you are there. There's literally... We've sold the first 100 tickets, and now the venue very kindly gave us another 50 tickets. So if you're going along, you can meet Kate in person and play the game for yourself. This is another person who will be at that event, hopefully. This should be, if I mute this, is TBS Silver. Oh, do you know what? I cannot make this shit up. He is playing, get this, Satisfactory, the game that we were talking about. I kid you not. It's like everything I've said has been scripted, and it's not, but he's playing Satisfactory that we talked about from Embracer Group. So let's go raid him. That raid is going to start. We are making that happen. That raid will start when the end credits are rolled. I don't have a plan. I make this shit up as we go along. I have a very loose script, which is here, and then the rest just happens. And somehow by the look of the gods, even though
somehow it works.
It happens. There you go. So that's it. Thank you so much. And wherever you are in the world, have a great morning, a great afternoon, or a great evening. And we shall see you tomorrow at 9 p.m. For some Stampede Royal Racing. We will do a funny wave, all of us like that, as I press the button. Thank you so much. Good night. Bye all. Bye.